Magic is real. In this story, magic takes the form of a secret message, a minivan, and a shoe. A few years ago, my wife and I decided that we wanted to take our family on a Disney vacation. We were going to go down to Disney World in Orlando, Florida. Unfortunately, we weren't sure how to tell the kids because we know they would have become completely insufferable up until the day of the trip. So we decided to put a countdown up on the wall. Every day, they would tear off a piece of paper, started at 30, 29, 28, and every day they would tear off a piece of paper and underneath would just be another number. They were getting really excited about it. They weren't at all sure why they were excited because they had no idea what they were counting down to. Every day, counting down. 5, 4, 3, 2. The anticipation was huge. When we got to 1, and then they tore off that last day, there was a secret message behind it, a coded message, and there was a key. Our daughter, Elise, took the coded message, and Avery, our son, took the key. Elise would shout out, "Okay, I need a red star," and Avery would say, "All right, that's the letter R," and then she would say, "Okay, I need a green circle," and he would say, "That's the letter N," and so on. Until they got to the end of the message, and Elise got to read it out loud, and it said, "Pack your bags and your magic wands because we're heading to Disney World and the magical wizarding world of Harry Potter in Orlando, Florida, and we're leaving today." Now they were really excited, and 30 days worth of anticipation turned into genuine joy. They grabbed their stuff, we had our bags packed, we jumped in the car, and we drove to Chicago. Now it was one of those weird days in Chicago in the winter where it warms up, the snow melts, and it turns to fog. Now we're standing there in the airport, just about to go into security, just about to check in, when they announced that all of the flights for the whole day have been canceled. We try to get on a future flight, but they can't put us on anything for almost a day and a half. And based on the schedule we had, there was no way we could reschedule, that we could move things around and make that trip work. The kids were freaking out. My wife and I were not sure what to do. So we decided, it's just another part of the adventure. And we rented a minivan, and we drove 20 straight hours down to Orlando. Every time we hit traffic, every time there was a snag in the trip at all, that became the mantra. The kids would just say, "It's another part of the adventure." We got to Orlando just a few hours after we would have if we had flown, with all the layovers and all that stuff. It was perfect. And we added a road trip, which was really fun. Now, this is the part where I could tell you about all of the Disney magic, because that's what Disney does. They manufacture and sell magical experiences. And we had a lot of those. But that's not the kind of magic that I want to tell you about now. Because I think one of the most magical things that happened on our trip happened when we jumped onto the It's a Small World ride. Now, I apologize to all of you who heard It's a Small World and now have that song stuck in your head for the rest of the holiday season. If you're not familiar with the ride, you start by getting on this platform at the top, winding your way down the line, down the stairs, down to the water, and it's an indoor boat ride. It takes you through a tunnel, you listen to the song 4,000 times, and it's generally one of those classic Disney experiences. We had just gotten onto the boat. We were just getting ready to head out when all of a sudden there was a plop and a splash of water in front of our boat. Looking out, you could see a shoe floating in the water right in front of our boat. And I looked up at the top of the platform, and there's a little boy standing there with one shoe, and a look on his face like, "Dear God, what have you done?" And another little boy standing next to him, a little older, probably his brother, with a look on his face that said, "Dear God, what have I done?" And next to them is a man, Dad, with a look on his face that says, "Dear God, where am I going to buy shoes at Disney World?" Thinking quickly, my son, Avery, is maybe 9 years old at the time, reaches out over the edge of the boat, one hand, long arm, stretches out as far as he can go without falling in the water himself. And he hooks one finger right on the edge of that shoe and he pulls it in toward himself. And he grabs the shoe and he pulls it into the boat and he hands it to me and I chuck the shoe as high as I can right over the top of the platform, and the dad reaches up and snatches it out of the air. Just as we're all about to shout and celebrate, we go into the tunnel, just narrowly making it. And I leaned forward, I said, Avery, I think you just saved that family's Disney vacation. Magic is a choice you make to do something extraordinary, to create an experience for somebody else. It's an attitude you choose when you face obstacles and hardship, that maybe it's just another part of the adventure. Magic is doing something to help somebody else, not because you have to, but because you're there and because you can. Magic is real, and I wish you all a very magical Christmas season.